recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Z Games.
Z Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture. Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at ZEDGamesAU.
This is Z Games. I'm your host Paul, and joining me tonight are my good friends Mei-Li
Hello.
and Mei-Li.
Hello.
It's two different. They're spelt and actually pronounced slightly differently, but I decided to just do them exactly the same. So Mei-Li, who is our regular correspondent.
Hi.
And Mei-Li, that was too much enunciation on the second syllable there. The producer of the very upcoming game, as in tomorrow, Tempopo, which we will be talking about later in the show. How are you both going?
Good, yeah.
You excited?
Yes.
I'm going to shove this microphone in your face.
Very excited, very nervous. I'm very keen to just see people play Tempopo. I'm just so excited.
Oh, yes. But before we do all that, we are going to get into a little bit of a thing that we call the news. News. Tariffs! Sorry, spoiler there. Okay, I subtitled this special news bulletin as "What Even Is Money Anymore?" So, just in a little bit of Switch news at the moment, you may be aware that currently the Switch 2 cannot be pre-ordered in the United States because there's a question about what's going on. Maybe it will be hit by 245% tariffs, or maybe it won't. We're not going to deep dive into that because one, it's complicated. Two, it changes. It could have changed by the time I started this sentence. We can't get down to this. But in addition to that, just to keep things, North America feeling good, Canada also can't pre-order it anymore. Because, Americans are going to want to get that supply and everything, and often the shipments come through the United States to get to Canada, so they have to. I would not like to be Nintendo at this point. Now, people feeling, I did love it, that all the Treehouse feeds after the Nintendo announcement were people chanting drop the price. Like, man, very soon you're going to really wish that price was still valid, because we're fine, hopefully, knock on wood. Speaking of us not being fine, the Sony has announced that they got to raise the prices of everything. So the PS5 has had its price raised through most of Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. In Australia, since that's our focus, it's not massive, but it is just weird for a 5-year-old console to be going now it's going to be even more expensive. They already had a price rise once before. So we're going up $30 to $830 for the one with a disc drive. And the digital edition up $70 to $750. But they're lowering the cost of the additional disc drive by $35, which still makes it like $140 or something, which is expensive for an external drive. But that's not all. They're also raising the price of PlayStation Plus. All levels are having a bit of a jump. Instead of just going through all of them individually, I'll just do the 12 months of each one. So we're going up to $102, $103. I'm rounding up from the cents. 95 is a lie.
You're forgiven.
Yeah, $103 for the essential version, $188 for extra, and $215 for deluxe. Wow. Last time they did this, I dropped from extra to essential, and I might just... it's not massive change, but it's just like a trend. I'm not getting value out of it anymore. It's like, I got to get ready for the Switch 2, put all my money into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, in good money, if you bought God, I can't pronounce words at the moment. Katana Zero, which was 6 years ago now, at the end of that game, which was a lovely platformer that was just a little short, They said, we will have some free DLC. They released a trailer this week. It's still coming. It's still free. This might be the longest wait for a DLC ad that I can experience, but it looks really good. So, you can still pick it up. And Oblivion has not been announced of a remake, except the screenshots on the developer's site. They're quite freely telling people like the release date's next week, but it's not announced. So everyone acts surprised. Okay, so if you want a Unreal Engine remake of Oblivion, look, I can't be 100%, but 99% likely is hitting us next week.
I'm holding you to that.
Yeah, may as well. I mean, I'm not going to play Oblivion again anyway. There's too many other good games to play. Okay, so just some upcoming games. Tomorrow, we shall see Bionic Bay coming to PC and PS5, which I'm super excited for. Layla coming to Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle getting its PS5 release. Tempopo for PC, Xbox, and Switch. No PlayStation on there, hey?
I mean, we'll see.
Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. White Knuckle, the hardcore parkour climbing game, and Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds Ultimate for PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and PC. The 19th will see Luna Remastered Collection coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. The 22nd will see Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. 23rd should see Steel Seed coming to PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And finally, in 1 week's time, we should see Thunderfolk for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PC, and Switch. Elements Divided for PC. Old Skies for PC and Switch. Beholder Conductor. That's in the Beholder series, if you're aware of those ones. I didn't realize it was related until I looked it up. And finally, Rail Gods of Hysteria, which is like a Cthulhu-y, survival-y train game. So what's not to like? Anyway, that's the general news. There's some stuff. We're all paying more for everything. Should we talk about political tariffs? It's the hottest thing to discuss.
I just don't want to. I want to talk about video games.
Let's talk about the Switch. Oh, tonight, Switch Direct for Mario Kart World. I don't need to watch it because I've already bought it. I'm hyped. It's going to be cool.
I do love Mario Forza Horizon.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
Well, what we think it is, we'll find out. It's and you can skate, you can grind on rails, apparently in a very Sonic way, and then jump on a train, and then go into a big hovercraft. So many things to discover. I don't even know what it is anymore.
I want to be the cow so bad.
Yes, the cow obsession. Yeah, it's been really, really fun.
I understand.
Like some of the deep cuts, like one of the drivable characters is like the money purse. Like they're just going
The
ape.
what?
Like the money purse. I think it's from Mario 3. It's a little bag of money.
I bet
Okay.
it's
a playable character.
Well, I want to be that one.
Yeah. Apparently they were stopping people with the cow at the playtests from getting the outfits. So what are they hiding?
Boo.
Can only pay to get that kind of content.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, we shall see what happens. Nintendo has to make a choice pretty soon about what they're going to do about the US. And I have no idea what it will be. And neither do you, listeners.
But I do.
Oh, yeah, Mei-Li knows really well, but they're not allowed to
which
say.
Mei-Li?
Ooh. One Mei-Li knows exactly what's going to happen. The other always lies. Which one is which?
Does the other Mei-Li tell the truth?
Nah.
You're listening to Z Games at 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Z Games on 4ZZZ.
Oi mate, you're listening to Z Games at 4ZZZ.
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 Got a bit carried away.
This is Z Games. I'm Paul, and joining me are two Mei-Lis.
Hi.
Hello.
Exciting. And we all know what it's time for now.
Yes.
Playing music and doing some puzzles and falling downstairs. I don't know, something else now. Woo! Okay, we are going to review a game, and this is probably the first time I have... No, it's not a review. This is an extended preview, because reviews are not out until tomorrow. So this is an extended preview of the game Tempopo. And this might be the first time I've given an extended preview to one of the developers I'm staring directly into the eyes. Hello, Mei-Li.
I'm surprised you haven't done this with not Tim and Jeff previously.
I didn't review. I've discussed things with them.
Fair.
And, my cruelty came through. So, Tempopo is a puzzle game by the team that brought us both Unpacking and Assault Android Cactus, which was, originally I thought that name was bad, but these days I love it. I'll never get it in the wrong order either. That was the thing at the beginning. It's like, what does that mean? Now I know what it means. It's great. Yes, so Unpacking, if you're not aware, many Game of the Year awards, BAFTAs, superstars of the local industry. And Mei-Li is joining us tonight. She is the producer on the project, what do you do as a producer?
I do many things, but I hopefully make the team's lives a lot easier by organising and facilitating the things I do. And I do that for a lot of teams because I love working with indies. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now to tear you apart.
Okay.
So, Tempopo is a puzzle game. It shares a lot of core things taken from games like Choo Choo Rocket and Lemmings 3D, which is of course everyone's go-to, but we're talking about a puzzle game trying to get pathing for little creatures called Tempopo, and you're trying to get them to collect flowers, get them to the end of a level, and you do that by putting down instructions on a 3D block-built world and try to make it work. It was a very interesting journey through this game. I've played it many times over the last few years, but all those scenarios were very early in the game. And it looked beautiful. Before, I got to say, I didn't hear it for a long time because we were playing it normally in loud areas. Thankfully, a demo came out earlier and I go, oh, wow, we'll talk more about the music later. But as a puzzle game, it was, interesting but rather straightforward. When you start the game, it'll give you an option between adventure mode and just puzzle mode. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. It's good something to check here because I'm not always good with my terms.
I'll be the fact checker.
The difference being that adventure mode shows you the positions you're supposed to put down an action in the level. If you go the other mode, you do not see those positions. But early in the game, it's often indicated just by the environmental design anyway. There's a bit of dirt on the ground. You've only got 2 things to put down. It's like, oh, well, this is not really that taxing to get through. Unlike most puzzle games, I would say, it's divided into worlds, that is normal. But each world isn't a reset of like, oh, we're going to do something different now. It's a progressive difficulty as you go through the entire game. So I played it on puzzle mode because that seemed what to do. And as the game kept getting more and more complicated, by the end of the 4th world, I'm like, I'll just switch to it and see, like, there's a lot of options here. I'm just going to, maybe this will let me get through a bit faster. And then I completed the game, and then you find out there's a second game, which is now the challenge levels. And I will gladly say I have not played a single one of those on puzzle mode. Because puzzle mode will wreck me on those levels.
Really?
I have to do them adventure mode. Because the possibility space is so great and so complicated, I just get overwhelmed. Now that said, as I said, each world doesn't bring new mechanics. It brings a new theme, it brings new music, it brings new characters, but it doesn't change what the tools you have are. But it is one of those puzzle games that will continue to surprise you all the way through, and then very much when you hit the challenge with how those tools can be used. I was saying yesterday to Mei-Li that I just accidentally dropped a bunch of random things in an area and hit play, and it was the actual solution, and it looked crazy because when you get the solutions, they work like a clockwork, and insane things happen, and you have lots of characters running around, enemies being dodged, the world being smashed apart, and things going. And it's a very hardcore puzzle game by the end. So, my message here is sort of that the game is very well tuned for different types of players. A kid could probably get through most of the main game, because it is progressively up, on adventure mode. Someone that really likes puzzles, you'll blast through those early levels, no problem, and you'll quickly find your level of meat where you want to go. And if you are more masochistic than me, stay on puzzle the whole time, and those big levels in the challenge are Wow, some of the things I've done in there are great. Are you raising your hand, Mei-Li?
I don't know how to interrupt, but
You can just talk.
does that mean that you haven't looked at creative mode yet?
No, I haven't got to speak of creative mode.
Oh no.
So creative mode is then turning this, well, not on its head. So adventure and puzzle, there's a solution you need to get. Creative mode is like, work out your own solution. Here are all the tools. And at this point, this is where the people that are obsessed with, Zachtronic games can get in on it. Where it's like, we're going to optimize, we're going to try weird solutions. How quickly can we do a level? How can we do it with one person? How can we make all these other solutions out of it? And that's just it's kind of wild. I started just seeing how much of levels I could just destroy entirely. Because I was like, is there even a meta layer behind this? Because I know that Sanatana is a big fan of like Bubba Is You. I'm like, oh, could this fit in too? But as it is, it's a very meaty game. The main campaign before the challenge, it was 5 hours or so. The challenge mode, I think I've spent more than 5 hours on half of the levels of the first world. It's exponentially more difficult and crazy and enjoyable. Now, the other big thing of the game, which we have not mentioned, is the sound. The sound by longtime collaborator Jeff Van Dyke. He has really gone out of his way here to create something that hasn't quite been done before. Each world has its own music. Every time you hit play, a track will play, and everything that happens on the level influences the music and the tones. But also, every time you hit play on the level, it's not the same bit of the music. It changes. And these systems work upon each other to find something that is just very satisfying with a lot of polish. And then, because you're collecting these flowers, and these flowers all sing at the end of a world, although you can do it before the end, but I always waited to the end. You go to a garden and you plant all your flowers, and you can make variants of them that have multiple heads, so there's multiple voices singing at once. And then when the world's complete, you have a little orchestra playing the music that you've laid out. You can change it as much as you want. And it obviously takes its big influence here from Balan Wonderland, where the main character sings a little song while the camera swings around them, and I know that definitely is what the inspiration is, even though I've been told multiple times it is definitely not Paul. Stop saying that. And then, if that wasn't enough, because that's a very simple music creator, it's just sort of, you plop things randomly and whatever you do will sound nice. There's a more extreme music creator that you open up, which will give you multiple staves that you can fill out, and it's more of an actual staff to use all your instruments in, and you can make music. And I was going to try and make something for the show, but I didn't make anything good fast enough. So maybe another week.
Our game designer is wonderful at being able to make just all these completely different tracks. Like the DJing Johnny does on that is just incredible. Like I wish I could. I would love to get Jeff on something for him to explain the detail of the music. Seeing him implement it and put it together is just nuts.
I think the last time I was speaking to Jeff, I said to him, I'm very much looking forward to the lectures you'll be giving over the next 5 years, because it is doing a lot of stuff. And I guess the overall message here is that all of these elements are very polished, and it's the sign of a team that is confident, because the basics have been there for years. Like really, if I played those first levels, it didn't feel any different 3 years ago. But the complexity of these puzzle designs and just the overall polish of how you move between islands, all the menus, everything. I hit the language options, and it's been localized to like 700 languages or something.
Yeah. And the puzzles themselves have been like polished a lot, so that we've been like playtesting them and trying to figure out the best way for them to kind of work for people as well, to like still be a challenge, but also to still like feel like a really complex puzzle.
It has done a very good job of sort of just introducing new ideas on individual levels, but it all compounds and gets up. And as I say, as some of those challenge levels play out, I'm just wow. Anyway, so what's bad about the game? much.
Paul.
Not really anything as much.
He says that as he kicks my feet.
I say that. I did. I actually did. I didn't mean to. But your feet are just so long.
You're just like, I hate this game. Kick.
The only thing, as it got more complex and you were trying to solve longer levels, and to solve them you have to play them from the beginning each time. Tracking all the creatures, especially as they're going up and down levels, can sometimes be a little bit tricky. And it was something that I was like, I'd like to pause it just to have a look. The dream would be you could actually fast forward and rewind, but I don't think that would actually work.
I'm pretty sure you can pause it on the level. It just has the pause menu. But also, we do have an accessibility mode for that. Did you know?
No.
If you go into the options and you check, I think it's like the accessories one,
Yeah,
each
yeah.
of the Tempopo on the level will have a different accessory so that you can follow them around.
Oh, I do love the accessory button. I didn't actually realize that was what it was for. I just put accessories on all of them.
It was because
I didn't see the accessory, but I didn't.
You just
Now I feel like
the
a fool.
accessories are just like, yes, that is just there.
Yeah. Help you track. Yeah, I never thought that was an accessibility option. I just liked the glasses and such things on my Tempopo.
Little devil horns is fine.
Yeah, so that was about the only thing that just tracking things on very complex levels was sometimes a little bit difficult. But other than that, it was a very minor slight and as I say, have not finished all the challenge levels. I've only finished the main campaign. Mei-Li was saying, I'll be impressed if you finish the whole game. And I said, it's 4 worlds, 60 levels all up. I'll be done with this tomorrow. What are you talking about? And then the challenges open up and I'm like, no chance in hell.
I love hearing the pupils just like shift into, oh God.
That was my reaction too.
Yeah. Because I think it is important to put out because at its face, it's very accessible. It's very child friendly, but knowing that there's that harder level that, it has a lot of meat to it at the end of the day. And as I say, even with the challenge levels, I'm playing them adventure mode because I'm a wuss. You still have that ability to decide that. And there's a basic hint system in there as well where you can just push a button and they'll say, hey, you've got the wrong thing here, or maybe you should put something over here. It's just one at a time. I don't think there's any penalty for it. Do you track it secretly?
No.
Track it secretly.
We don't want to make people... We want people to feel kind of like relaxed and not feel like too judged by the puzzle. But also, I was actually, funnily enough, testing the other day, doing the challenge levels, because I too haven't finished them, but I was doing them in creative mode accidentally, and I was actually doing really well, but then I was just like, why am I doing these in creative mode? I didn't even realize. I was just like using the radial menu and making my way through. It's possible. Challenge levels.
I imagine I am looking forward to seeing that hardcore community get in there.
Me too.
Because it's that was one of the things, like I mentioned Zachtronic games earlier. I love everything that they used to make. Because it was just like, I would make a good solution and feel good about myself, and then I would go and check what everyone else was doing online and realize I'm an idiot and I don't even rate compared to all these people. But I
kind of want to know if Tempopo will have a speedrunning community, because the level designer on Tempopo we met because they were a speedrunner on Assault Android Cactus. And like it would be a lovely like tables kind of shifting and just like also a wonderful person. So
I think it's the kind of game that can get all like the music community interested in, which is also then just like people that like sharing stuff and influencing, but then it has the meat and the interest of you can do all sorts of different runs. You can do a speed run, you could do minimal operations, you can do all these things. And the
reason like the Hana Garden is like a more simple version was because we wanted people to be able to make music and not feel so
bad.
intimidated. That's why we had to like separate the Hana Garden and the Melody Garden, but also like if someone makes their music and gets into making music because of the Melody Garden, I will legitimately cry. I will. That will. I'm tearing up now.
Did you send me a Rickroll of it the other day?
I did.
Yeah.
I don't remember how to Rickroll people anymore, so I've just been like, is this you? And then the link to the YouTube. And I was like, that's not how people Rickrolled each other.
Okay, so I think that brings us pretty much to the end of our extended preview of Tempopo. Mei-Li, did you have any thoughts? You haven't been too chatty.
I have many thoughts. I guess my biggest point is you mentioned that you wanted people to feel relaxed and not judged by the game. And I can confirm, as someone who's truly just atrocious at puzzle games, it's never been my something I'm drawn to, and it's not something I'm good at. But I had a wonderful time, and I did not feel judged. I had a similar experience to Paul where I played it and I was going through, and then we got to the end and I'm like, oh, I'm going to use some hints, or I'm going to try the adventure mode. And the game, there's no counting of my hints. There's no, oh, wait here. And it helped. Like, I'd have these new big puzzles come in, sort of, again, a building on it, not a new mechanic, but a mechanic I didn't quite work out how it was clicking, and it gave me a hint, and I'm like, oh, if the arrow's there, I hadn't considered that because I'm silly. Well, then this, and it all clicked into place, and I still got my very satisfying solution, and I think you just did a really good job on that. So if anyone out there is like, I'm not sure, I'm not good at puzzles,
it gives you that wizard feeling that good puzzle games do.
Yeah.
Where you go like, oh, I'm really smart.
Yeah.
That was Hanat's whole feeling of just like, I want people to feel like joyful and smart playing this game.
Well,
and
successful.
Successful.
So Tempopo is out tomorrow on PC, Switch, and Xbox. And also the soundtrack will be available, which you can stream on most streaming services. But
there is special, if you buy it directly from Jeff on his Bandcamp or through Steam on the Tempopo page, you'll get an extra, it was like 44 at least songs.
The soundtrack I currently have is 91 songs
91.
long, and the streaming platforms can only support 50.
Yep, that's
so
there could have been more.
Suckers
I
on
know
the stream.
The way that he has built the music in the game, there could have been so many more different variations of recording these tracks, but we had to limit him this time.
Now, because it's not out yet, I don't actually know how much it's going to cost. Can you give us the secret?
I think it is $19.99 USD because we all think in USD. Because that's
maybe not for long.
I have to assume that it's 30 AED for us. I think all of their games are 30 AED.
That's what I remember with Unpacking as well.
And Cactus.
Yeah.
With the full edition.
Yeah. Good games. Anyway, that takes us to the end. Pick up some flowers.
And they'll sing for you.
Thanks for backing me up there, Matt. That was good.
Yeah.
Good ending. Yeah.
Hey there. Welcome to 4ZZZ, community radio jam-packed with news, tunes, and chats you won't catch anywhere else. You've tuned in just in time. You're listening during our annual month-long subscriber drive, April Atonement, where we take a moment to celebrate the station and ask our listeners, hey, want to keep us on air another year? Or another 50 years? Go ahead and subscribe this April Atonement and you'll go in the draw to win one of our awesome prizes. Head to 4ZZZ.org.au now.
This is Zed Games. I am Paul. Joining me are Mei-Li and Mei-Li.
Hello.
And now, I think I'm going to try and squeeze in a second review!
Stop!
I had to type into Google because I forgot the developer's name! Hey! Oh no! No! It brought up a camera with the same name!
Well, we'll do a camera review.
Okay, Seafrog is a new game by a developer. And that developer is named Oh My Me Games. Pretty good. Got that sort of My Me at the end of their name, which is, very popular in this studio tonight. This is a game that you play a frog at sea, and you are stranded. You're floating along, and then you fall down, as you do in the middle of the ocean, a big waterfall into a hole in the middle of the ocean. And there's a bunch of weird pirate ships there, and you commandeer one, and it's got a cannon on it, and you figure you can shoot yourself out of the hole with the cannon. This old chestnut of a story, but it doesn't have enough power, so you can use the cannon to shoot yourself onto the other pirate ships, and then it's a skateboarding platformer, and it's so good. I'd originally I'd seen some screenshots. I'm like, there's too many games, whatever. And then I saw this 3D shooting a cannon at other boats thing. I'm like, it's just a menu select. It's stylish. And it's got sort of that low poly through gun look. So it's not really like PS1 or anything, but it has that sort of sentiment, sort of like low poly but higher res textures, but the textures is all chunky. Anyway, you skateboard on your wrench, and it's not a trick-based game, although you'll do tricks. They're a bit automatic, but the feeling of skating around these levels is really, really good. I started the game and I got to the first pirate ship, which is full of rats. I love a good rat level. Going around, I discovered that if I do a little jump and land on a rat, I can skateboard on a rat. That's pretty good. You can do that with all enemies.
Does
and if
the
you
rat run?
No, they're getting squished as they go.
What?
They're enemies. They're enemies.
Rats are friends.
I do like rats, but so this continuing, I'm going, I'll just go through level of this game, and I'm sure that'll be fine. And then I discover that you die and you lose your currency. And you go, is it going to be soulsy? No, not really. It's just someone on the level gets the currency, and you track them down and you beat them up and you get it. But also, then I realized the structure is not levels. Each of these ships has multiple decks, and off those decks they have rooms, and those rooms might have challenges in them or other things to collect. And you'll get enough power to get to a further away ship. And there's only 3 ships in the game. And you're like, that must make it a somewhat small game, right? Not really, because you'll progress to the second ship before you complete the first, and you can't actually... And you start realizing it's not quite a Metroidvania, but it has that sensibility of like, you don't know how to do this yet. You've got to go do something else, come back, and get to the second ship. It's full of chickens. Those chickens are nothing like the rats. And it's all themed there, and it feels totally different. And they'll have all these side challenges, which might help you, but also they're not necessary for the main progression. So I found myself always finding something new to do. If something was killing me a lot, you respawn at your ship, and they do a really good thing where, yes, if you shoot yourself at the other pirate ship, you'll start that ship again. But also there's teleporters on most decks. So as long as you unlock them, you can go from your respawn straight there. You can get back to where you want in a couple of seconds generally. But also you can go, I don't want to fight those chickens right now. They can be obnoxious, those chickens.
What are the chickens doing?
They're just a bit more swarmy. Like every time you touch an egg, another chicken hatches. So if you're not careful, you can fill the level with chickens, and they can be quite vicious. As you do.
Classic chickens.
But then also there has sort of that Hollow Knight pin system. So you'll get pins, and you'll say, okay, well, I've got so many slots, and the slots also have, if you put 2 red pins next to each other, you get another bonus. So you're always changing your layout and playing with different styles, and the movement just feels good. So it's been really, really satisfying. I haven't mentioned the last pirate ship, and I won't. It's a silly story, it's a silly idea, but it plays really solidly, it looks great, and it kept me entertained. I don't know how many hours actually, for a good while at least. Yes, so Seafrog, which is available on Steam for about $20, and that's all it's on at the moment. But it's really fun. I would recommend it. A little bit less than Tempopo. Just for the nepotism.
If I wasn't in the room,
Nepotism. What's not to like? Okay, this is 4ZZZ. It is 2 minutes to 7, so we have to say goodbye. Goodbye from Z Games, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Play Tempopo, and do other things with your life as well. But that's a good one.
About 50-50.
See y'all later, folks.
Bye.
Hey.
We'll miss you.
Thanks for listening to Z Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.